Before diving deep into the episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys. So, we're all about building a space about wellness and personal growth. So we really want to bring the best conversation on Wellsome podcast. And in order to do that, I really ask you to support our journey, hit the thumbs up, just share the episode if you really think that it can resonate with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with us. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wellsome, a podcast where wellness meets self-development. I am Vicki, and in each episode, I'm going to dive deep into real conversation about health and personal growth. So in today's episode, I have the biggest pleasure to have Manisha with me. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good. So I explain you. Actually, you know what? Why don't you introduce yourself? Let's do this.
Well, my name is Manisha, and I'm an ex-dentist. But now I full-time work as a health, hormone, and a hair coach. I know it kind of makes people be like, what the hell?
We're curious,
What
actually.
the hell does a hair coach do? So basically, I dive deep into hormones because the journey started in terms of understanding my own body.
Yes.
Because as a dentist or even as a medical grad or a doctor today is not really made well acquainted with the whole hormonal cycle that especially women go through.
True.
As we don't just have a one phase like a man
Yeah.
who works on a 24-hour testosterone cycle. A woman has 3 phases. The initial phases when we start getting our periods. The last phase is when we obviously stop having our periods, which is classified as postmenopausal.
Yeah.
It's the transition that we go through in between these 2 phases, which is the most challenging, the most abrupt.
Yeah.
Perimenopause. And that's what made me dive deep into the study of hormones. And one thing led to the other. It started with my hair fall issues,
Oh,
wherein
that's how. Okay. Okay.
wherein I realized, why am I losing hair? And I was just beginning to be in my early 30s. This
Yeah.
is during COVID times. And I was like, okay, there is something much deeper than just me going and buying a shampoo or doing a ritual.
Yeah.
It's much deeper than just that.
Amazing.
So that's what I do now because it was literally my pain point, which I've now turned into purpose. And I find immense fulfillment in being able to help so many women over the years. And yeah, that's what I do now.
Amazing, amazing. So first of all, guys, I just want to say that she has a beautiful crown of hair. So like I didn't doubt 1 second, but then when I saw her, like, oh my God, mashallah, you look amazing. So absolutely, I cannot wait to ask you so many questions about it because your hair talks by itself, you know.
Well, thank you.
And second, the reason why I wanted to invite her on the podcast is because first of all, nowadays it's very common to have hair issues, scalp issues, to lose hair, especially I feel in the region. And as the previous episode about hair loss got a lot of attention, I wanted to invite her to give the possibility for her to express her purpose and just explain us from maybe an holistic point of view and also from a perimenopause women point of view. So that's why Manisha's here with us. And as always, I start asking, how did you get into this?
Exactly what I began with. It was literally my frustration. And it was the frustration and how other women were silently suffering. Because honestly, the hair industry is one of the most misinformed industries. When I started understanding a little bit more about my own body,
Yeah.
about my own hormones, I realized that hair is just a reflection of my cellular health. It is
Interesting.
literally what is happening in my endocrine systems, which is my thyroid gland, which is my digestion. Literally everything that is happening in my systemic organs, my skin, my hair is going to reflect it.
Yeah.
So again, coming back to how I began this journey was my frustration that led to me finding answers. And eventually I found that this can be a way to educate and empower people to make them understand that hair is just a very superficial symptom. It's a symptom.
Yeah.
The real thing is happening on a cellular level. It's happening in your hormones. It's happening in your nervous system. So what I do with my other businesses is as well is when I brew my own hair oils, the whole mission and the message with that business is also a nervous system reset. The ritual of massaging oil and scalp, it comes from Ayurveda, one of the most ancient medicines that the mankind has witnessed. It's 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Ayurveda says that whenever there is some sort of a dysregulation in your nervous system, you have a lot of fire energy in your body, the first tissue that is going to face any symptom is your hair.
Interesting.
Your hair is a tissue of abundance.
I love that.
Because you have so many
Yeah,
of
true.
those hair follicles
True.
on your scalp. And exactly what I do with this is I educate people to know and first of all empower them. I think education is a part of empowering people in a way where if you know what's happening in your body, you can take the right actions.
I agree with you.
So
Absolutely.
getting to the root cause and then building systems with it made me realize there is definitely a potential where we can not just look at this as a next business avenue, but also for people to perhaps go a little bit more softer, you know?
Yes, and especially women nowadays. I think this is such a contemporary topic. And I'm so happy that you came on the podcast to just discuss it. First of all, because I think we need educator now, especially around inner beauty, around health, around wellness. And second, women, we need support. So I love your mission so much. And that's why I want to start this podcast by asking you, what are the biggest misconceptions that you see about hair care?
The biggest misconception I would say is people think hair loss or anything related to hair starts on the scalp.
Yeah.
It actually starts in your body months before it manifests on your scalp.
Okay. Tell me about it. Guide me through.
Even if you have slight nervous dysregulation, your cortisol rises,
Yeah.
right? It's your adrenal response. And it's normal. I think like in the wellness industry, cortisol is just given a bad name too often.
I agree, to be honest. Yeah.
We do need a little bit of cortisol,
Yeah.
especially in the early hours of morning, so that it can power us through to, get our work done, to get our stuff done. But the only problem is when we are more adrenal centric.
Okay.
When we have that cortisol overdrive throughout the day, what that does is it puts your nervous system in a sympathetic state. For your hair to grow, for even your body to feel safe, you have to be in your parasympathetic. You have to be in your rest, digest, relax.
Yeah.
And nothing can grow if you're not rested, if you don't feel safe in this body.
Yeah. I love that. Amen. Yeah. This is a message that always come up in our podcast because of course we're talking about wellness.
Yes.
And we want to convey a true message, like a real message about it. So I love that you're speaking up about this, especially I feel for us women, we put ourselves so much under pressure that sometimes we just underestimate the power of just letting our nervous system to regulate again.
Well, I think, yes, we do live in a very fast-paced society. There's no denying that fact, and especially because we live in Dubai.
Yeah.
There's no problem in being having adrenals work in your favor. The only problem is when we are in that state for 24/7.
Yeah.
Especially when you're about to wind down for the day, when the sun sets, your melatonin is the one that should be taking charge.
True.
But because we are constantly in the go-go from one event to the other, from one thing to the other, we have so many things to accomplish. Like, I don't know one person now who's an entrepreneur and doing only one thing.
Yeah.
Even I have like 3 verticals under my business, but it's all about, I feel like, energetically speaking, yes, we need to be softer, but even metaphysically, if I have to speak, as we are tuning into more into the body's wisdom, your body is just mirroring a spiritual evolution, right?
Yeah.
Like you allowing that divine invitation of just being softer, being absolutely doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like I have stopped telling people meditate. I have just started telling people do nothing.
Yes.
Because even that is doing something.
True.
It is literally switching you off from that go to like, oh, just take 2 minutes of breath inside you, release it with slower exhales. That instantly puts you in a state of parasympathetic.
Yeah.
So that divine invitation of getting softer, getting into your feminine essence. I'm obviously speaking more with reference to women, because let's face it, men are still accepted bald socially. Women cannot really walk into a room very confidently bald. Well, I'm sure that there will be a day when that comes, but up until then, we have to educate women to downregulate that nervous system. Like as women, we have ovaries. There's no way a woman in her early 30s to even mid 40s should be experiencing the hair thinning and hair loss the way I see every single day. And even there are statistics that by the time a woman hits her menopause, she loses 50% of her hair.
Wow, 50% is a lot.
And most women are getting menopausal in their late 40s. And 40s is nothing, it's the new 30.
Absolutely, I agree.
So then I feel like till we are not accepted bald socially, we need to do everything in our capacity to keep that nervous system relaxed. And how do we keep that? By probably becoming more soft.
Yeah.
Allowing that sacred invitation of allowing as a woman to do more things that you're supposed to be doing.
Of course.
Not really being small men, like, working out like at 5 a.m. and then, crushing your goals, going on a keto diet, intermittent fasting like every day. Yeah. No, we're not supposed to do that. And that's why perimenopause, which is supposed to be anywhere between 35 to 40, I'm seeing most women having their perimenopausal symptoms in their early 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a podcast recently with the Dr. Verma, and she was talking about now more than ever, women have a lot of symptoms, even in like late 20s, early 30s. And
actually, two of my clients are 29.
Yeah, and one of it is hair loss. So can you guide us through the process of how can we prevent this when perimenopause comes? How can we really take care of our hair when perimenopause is coming?
Again, it doesn't start with touching your hair. It literally starts with tapping into your nervous system.
Yeah.
The more you have rituals about that is going to downregulate your nervous system, the more your body is going to get softer.
Yeah.
Like if you look at in today's times, people are wearing tight hairstyles. They're wearing tight clothes. They have tight schedules. They are literally running on tight schedules through the day. What is this doing? It's not just tightening your organs.
Shrinking, yeah.
It's not just, of course, your systemic organs are also getting tightened and they are shrinking. Your scalp tension is also getting, it's getting aggravated with every time you stress, with every time you do not breathe, with every time you kind of like just shrink into your own body because something is not working out in your external field. And all of this, what is happening in your external, your body is perceiving as a threat, as the stress.
Absolutely.
Which is what is making us so adrenal centric. Like I will come back to the adrenals all the time because today as a woman, we are more adrenal centric than ovarian centric.
Okay, tell me about it.
For your hair to grow, for your hair to have the luster, for your hair to have the shine, your progesterone to estrogen ratio needs to be balanced at all times, even in your perimenopause.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, like perimenopause is not a disease. It's not an abnormality. Even a healthy woman will have perimenopausal symptoms.
Yeah.
It's all about the severity.
Yeah. How you can manage them also and how you can prevent that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's how much you're in tune with your body. Like, see, progesterone is a calming hormone. All right.
Yeah.
And estrogen is a stimulatory hormone. So what happens when your progesterone is dipping, as you are getting in perimenopause, the stimulatory effect of estrogen is increasing.
Yeah.
So you're getting estrogen dominant by default. Weight gain, adult acne, hair thinning, not being able to remember things, brain fog, anxiety, not being able to sleep in the night.
Yeah.
All these things that I've said is important for your nervous system
Yeah.
to stay in its parasympathetic. Because progesterone is it's just dipping with every passing year.
Yeah.
And because we are adrenal centric, this is not helping progesterone.
Absolutely.
Because the precursor of progesterone is pregnenolone,
Yeah.
which also makes cortisol. Now, if I'm adrenal centric, my precursor is just getting diverted to making cortisol.
Yeah.
So by default, I'm not making progesterone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in this whole drama, your thyroid comes into the play.
Yeah.
1 in every 4 Indian women is hypothyroid. Why?
You know that I know this, but I want to hear why. I noticed. Tell me why.
Most of, I can only speak for people from my part of the country where women are not really
Speaking
encouraged.
maybe about it. Yeah.
They are not encouraged to speak their truth. They are not encouraged to express what they want. Okay, maybe times are changing now, but again, it's us millennials who are probably changing that paradigm, and we are creating that shift now. But for centuries, for thousands of years, for hundreds of years, this has been a very deep conditioning in women, especially the South Asian women, if I have to even put it, like if I have to like broaden the spectrum.
I agree. I noticed as well, as not South Asian, but with a lot of South Asian friends.
Yeah.
I noticed that the thyroid issues are very, very popular.
Yes. So 1 in 4 women is hypothyroid. So now because we are adrenal centric, my estrogen, I'm getting estrogen dominant. Thyroid is coming to rebalance this estrogen. And in this whole thing, T4 does not get converted to T3, which is the active form of thyroid.
Yeah.
And that's why we see so many people with either a hypothyroid, which has turned into Hashimoto's, or or thyroid is overactive.
Yeah.
There's also a condition called as hypothyroidism, where your thyroid gets overly active.
Yeah.
So, oat axis, this is the oat axis which I just spoke about, your ovaries, your adrenals, and your thyroid.
Yeah.
So this is something which is a part of my another mission, where I want to educate young teenagers about their bodies. Because if I can start implementing this in girls, and even boys for that matter, so that they become better boyfriends and better husbands,
I agree,
in future, and they know how to behave with a woman in their adulthood, this will solve so many relationship issues as well. Because women are not the same every 3 months. We change, we evolve. This evolution that we undergo needs to be this needs to be taught on a school level. And this is what I want to do now, where I go into every school, educate teenagers about their hormones, their bodies, so that they don't suffer like, like maybe you and I have suffered.
True.
And we have learned it the hard way. And I truly feel very passionate about spreading this wisdom, because this is gold standard. Like if we all knew how to balance our hormones, this pandemic of hair loss wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And the hair industry wouldn't be an $88 billion industry that it is today, just because it is playing out of people's emotional, I would say, challenges, because it's a sensitive topic for a lot of women.
It is a very sensitive topic, and like it affects your confidence so much. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. I know many guys who are like very, very frustrated because hair, it's like a crown. So that's why also I want to invite you, because we need to spread the right information in order for people to really understand what's the main issue, so they can finally treat, because it is reversible.
It is. It's a cyclical organ. I always tell, hair is cyclical. It has a 90-day cycle. So if you really know how to reset your nervous system, you know the rituals of lymphatic drainage, you really know how to really ground your body and be in tune with what it is trying to tell you. With every month when we have our cycles, the 4 phases when we just cycle sync.
Yeah.
And we know how to eat, how to work out, how to even show up at work, how to maybe even have a conversation with my partner during different phases. It'll be a game changer, not just for your life, but for your body and for your hair.
Of course. And I wanted to take a step back, because you mentioned something very, very interesting at the beginning. Your approach starts with the Ayurveda and the wisdom around it. And for the listener who are not very familiar with Ayurveda, can you please explain us what is it and how Ayurveda can really help us through hair, hair loss, but also hair care in general.
So in Ayurveda, how I look at hair is your scalp is your second gut.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we say like our gut is our second brain. I say your scalp is your second gut, and your hair is literally a language or the voice of your nervous system. In Ayurveda, the ritual of just sitting down, taking few breaths, warming the oil, activating the marma points on your face, on your scalp. We have about 107 marma points all over our body, but we have a very significant number on our face and on our scalp.
Interesting.
So these marma points are literally the points where your muscles, nerves, joints, they all come and intersect. Activating them with a slight warm oil literally opens up the prana, the energy.
Yeah.
I am a big advocate, and that's why like I brew my own oils. It obviously started with a personal mission of saving my own hair,
Yeah.
but then when I realized how powerful it is when you use the wisdom of botanicals and you kind of like mix it with the Ayurvedic wisdom
Yeah.
of marma point activation, like my hair has over the years only gotten better in terms of the texture, in terms of the thickness, in terms of just how I feel. It's like what you give energy to expands.
Yeah.
It's what you give love to will love you back.
Yeah.
I'm almost 40, by the way, and I do not have gray hair.
Yeah, I can see it. And that's amazing. I'm very amazed. Yeah. I'm very amazed.
So there is something that, our ancient sages knew very well, which functional medicine is speaking now,
Yeah.
which I see now in my labs. But Ayurveda propagated oiling, following your circadian rhythm, waking up with the sun, sleeping and winding down when the sun sets, making sure your melatonin is supporting that sleep cycle. Because when you sleep, you secrete your growth hormones. Your growth hormones get secreted between the window of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Interesting.
Yeah, people sleep at 2 a.m., but they say like, oh, but I had like an 8-hour sleep. But then, your the window of your growth hormone had already passed by.
Yeah.
And then you're complaining of wrinkles, you're complaining of weight gain. Some people also are like after 35 have stubborn weight, which they're not able to lose, especially on your midriff area.
Yeah.
So what happens, I know this is going a little out of the topic, but I just want to touch this topic about fat. When we have excess fat around our midriff area, especially for a perimenopausal woman, this does not act like a tissue anymore. This acts like an organ.
Yeah.
So it starts secreting its own hormone. And what does hormone do if you are in excess? If estrogen gets dominant, what you're doing is basically whatever estrogen you're using, it's getting recirculated in your blood.
Yeah.
The concept of hormones is to use it and to lose it.
Yeah.
When I'm not able to lose it, it is basically intoxicating my system.
It's stuck. Yeah.
So when if you have not enough sleep, you are not hydrating well, you are not eating on time, which is what Ayurveda propagates,
Yeah.
you are going to save out on all these intoxicants recirculating in your body. And it's called ama. It's like that's what we call it in Ayurveda, but ama is literally toxins.
Yeah.
You cannot have a healthy body if you are not able to detox on a daily basis. How can you detox? You poop, you sweat. These are the ways through which your hormones can get excreted. But if you do not have a proper sleep-wake cycle, all these things get affected.
Yeah.
You, in fact, get pre-diabetic the next day if you have not slept well.
Yeah.
HbA1c in most of my clients today is more than 5.5.
Wow. Wow. And how can Ayurveda wisdom can be blended well in our modern world? Because I find very fascinating. I know about Ayurveda. I studied it and I think it's very fascinating, and it's so interesting how at the end of the day, we just need to just come back to simple things to make things work.
It's so simple.
It's so simple.
It is literally going back and tuning into the body's wisdom.
Yeah.
Taking those deep breaths. Literally connecting to Mother Earth, grounding. Now we call biohacking, but our sages have been doing this for thousands of years.
True.
Fasting. Like even if as a woman I'm in my follicular and ovulation, I can do my intermittent fasting without really impacting my hormones. It's only during my luteal or menstruation where I should avoid fasting like a man. But in most of the religions back in India, fasting is, I think not just in India, I think all over the world, fasting is one of the most sacred rituals.
Yeah.
So fasting, grounding, looking at the sunlight. There's something called as tratak. If you like look at the sun when it is rising, it literally resets your right and your left hemisphere. Just going on the grass, walking. When you just walk, there's something known as bilateral eye movement that happens. This also balances the right and the left side of your brain.
Yeah.
All basic stuff. Ayurveda is literally what functional medicine or the world of biohacking or longevity is now trying to sell us in the name of modern wisdom. This is literally ancient science.
Yeah. So when it comes to hair specifically, what are the techniques that you normally recommend to clients or do it on yourself that you use that impact your hair a lot, like your hair health a lot?
So first of all, I'd always say, like, if someone comes to me for a discovery call or a consultation, it's always the first step is please test, don't guess. Like people do come to me with like, oh, I have alopecia. Like, who told you?
Yeah.
My doctor told me. Like, on what basis? Just by looking at your scalp?
Yeah.
What are your labs saying? See, we always need a data to validate whatever protocol we are setting up. So the first step is to always get a blood work done, or even better is just pluck your hair and get an HTMA, a hair tissue mineral analysis. Your hair is not just a thing of vanity. It literally holds information.
Yeah.
It has trace elements of minerals, hormones. It also tells you what is your metal toxicity looking like.
Yeah. I recently done the test and we start with the hair. Yeah. And because I had some heavy metals going on because of the environment, even though I eat very well. But, and I just take care of myself as much as I can as in wellness, like addicted and gut health specialist, whatever. But we started with the hair. Yeah. Because they hold a lot of information.
They do hold a lot of information. So it's always, the first step is to always get an analysis done. The second thing is I can talk to them for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour is the time that I like to spend with my clients, because sometimes a lot of women who come to me are doing everything right.
Yeah.
They're getting their protein, they're doing their supplements, they're working out, they're cycle syncing. But a lot of times, I would not say a lot of times, I would say sometimes it is the emotional gunk that these women are carrying, which is stored in their subconscious. Your body is way too intelligent. Hair also has a lot of memories. I recently got a haircut done because I just wanted to get rid of certain parts of me, which I've had like long hair for the longest time. And I'm like, just chopping them off made me feel so light, because our hair literally is an emotional imprint as well. So if there's something in your body which has not been processed, whether it's a grief from the past or whether it is a trauma that you have experienced in your past relationship or a memory that still haunts you, and if it is still recirculating, just like those hormones, it is going to reflect somewhere, and your hair is the first place where any imbalance reflects.
Nice.
And it's the last organ where your body is going to allocate any resources and nutrients.
True.
Because you don't need hair for survival.
Of course. And what do you think are the rituals that people do on themselves that actually are disrupting more than helping?
Oh, yeah.
I know you have a lot to say about this.
I do, actually, yeah. The first thing is all these tight hairstyles. A lot of styling procedures that these girls are doing in today's times. A lot of heat styling tools. I do not have anything against it, but if you're doing them repeatedly without really compensating by oiling your hair before every hair wash, you're doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Clipping on hair extensions, the semi-permanent ones, puts a constant pressure on your hair follicles, and that eventually causes hair follicle miniaturization. Because there's a constant stress on those hair follicles because of the extensions. And extensions is, I would say, they're selling like hotcakes today.
Of course.
Because
it's just attaching something that is not part of you.
it's masking a problem. But again, because we live in a very instant, gratifying society, people do want instant fixes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not having enough protein in every meal. Some people are having like 10 or 15 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
Where you should be having at least 80 grams if you want to just maintain your muscle mass.
Yeah.
Not hydrating well, not sleeping well, not having a proper hair care routine, overwashing their hair. There are so many things that people are doing maybe on an autopilot without even realizing. You know, when they come out of shower, when I see in most gyms, and people have just taken a head bath and they come out and they are drying their hair, they're literally rubbing their hair, and it's my heart goes out because your hair is in its weakest state when it is wet.
Interesting. I didn't know about this.
Imagine you rubbing it so vigorously, and that too with the
and that's why a lot of hair fall during the
wash.
Yeah.
And imagine you coming out and you're rubbing your hair like, I don't know what it is. You literally have to use a very soft towel. Or even if you don't have to, if you don't want to invest in a soft microfiber towel, and there's so many on the market, just use a cotton t-shirt. Just wrap your head in it. You don't have to rub it so hard.
Yeah.
And you don't have to brush it. I see even girls brushing.
Yes.
When I see all these things,
you would like to say something. You're holding yourself.
I literally have my heart in my hand because, because, you know, when you kind of learn and understand something on a cellular level, you kind of become very passionate about it. So I am like, I breathe, sleep, talk, everything hair these days.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We love a woman with a purpose. So it's so lovely to hear that. Well, actually, what is the biggest trend that you have seen, maybe on internet, social media, or around you about hair that you just cringe when you see it?
Well, I think there are so many, but I feel like most of the salons today that do all these hair treatments that involve a lot of formaldehyde, which is precancerous. But a lot of women are getting their hair botoxes, hair keratins, bleaches done on a regular basis. See, I don't even do my nails. Like, I know it's not looking nice and pretty because they're not well manicured with a gel paint. But every chemical, women use 200 endocrine disruptors on a daily basis. That's a staggering number.
Yeah.
And then we complain about why the cancer rates going so high.
Yeah.
Every time I expose myself to an endocrine disruptor, or even like there's so much oxidative stress in the environment, my body is creating free radicals.
Yeah. What are those endocrine disruptors for because I'm always thinking about the women who are listening to us, and maybe they are not familiar with what really play against them. Tell me what they are as an example, so our listener know what they have to avoid.
From the time they wake up, I'd say the toothpaste you're using, check the ingredients. Mm-hmm. The excess of fluoride is literally calcifying your pineal gland.
Wow.
Your pineal gland is literally behind your third eye. It is stopping you from being intuitive. Just to start your day with, you're blocking your biggest power, your intuition.
Wow, interesting. I knew about the toothpaste, but I didn't know about that was connected to our intuition.
Your pineal gland is right behind your third eye.
Yeah.
Like if you had to look at the anatomy of a brain structure, your pineal gland, your hypothalamus, pituitary gland, they're all inside your brain structure. Yeah. And that's why educating children at a tender age makes so much of a difference, because what we do is at a younger age, because see, for a teenager or an adolescent, their prefrontal cortex, which is the CEO of your brain, is not formed fully up until you're 25 years of age. The neurons are not myelinated enough. Myelination is literally creating insulation around the neurons. It's like a fatty layer around the neurons. That's not formed up until you're 25. So if you are literally, if you're a parent and you are doing everything, your child is going to model that behavior. So I think it all starts from the parent or whoever is the role model in the family. From the time you wake up to the time you sleep, what is it you're exposing yourself to? Starting from your toothpaste to your body wash to your shampoo to your soaps to your dishwasher to the detergent you're washing your clothes in.
Yeah.
They are filled with chemicals which are endocrine disruptors.
Yeah.
Again, I know I know that these when I say like organic, go hormone safe, they may be expensive right now, but with everyone tried to shift their mentality and stop buying things out of a shelf in a supermarket and started supporting small businesses who are doing good to humanity in a way by creating these hormone safe products. I think we would be a much healthier society.
I agree with you. And I love that you point out that.
Yes, and even like coming back to the brain, because I feel like so many of us are adrenal centric, and this is what I started my topic with. I see a lot of women who are in their late 20s to early 30s are also perimenopausal. Why? It's not a adrenal centric reason. It's a it's an HPA axis problem. So your hypothalamus is giving the wrong signal to the pituitary, which in turn is giving the wrong signal to the adrenal glands. So that HPA axis is what is getting interrupted in a woman who's not even perimenopausal and becoming adrenal centric by default. So your brain, as much as we say it all is, vanity, hair is vanity, yes, but it is all starting on a cellular nervous system level.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to products, as we start talking about products, there are so many in the market. And I feel that nowadays, also with the rise of influencers or beauty brands, a lot of people are focusing on hair care now more than ever. But for example, when a client comes to you and you have to recommend products, what are your protocol when it comes to really products? Is it something that it starts also from getting the right toothpaste, getting the right this, or it's more targeted on you need to use this product when it comes to hair wash or this one?
Again, product recommendations will only work if your nervous system is well regulated. Once you have done all the foundational work, your hair type and your hair texture, your scalp microbiome, it all determines what the kind of products you will be using in future. That's very customized. I wish it was that simple and I could give a generic universal answer. But yes, your scalp pH stays universal, which is about 4.5 to 5.5. So it's quite acidic, just like your skin.
Yeah.
So anything that has a pH of 4.5 to 5.5 is a great product for your hair and your scalp.
And what do you think about scalp in general? Is it that relevant as we start to believe, or is it like secondary, goes hand in hand with something else? So what do you think about scalp health specifically?
So, whenever there's any sort of a lymphatic drainage issue, it reflects on your scalp as congestion, flakiness, oiliness. It is also trying to tell you a much deeper story. Yes, your scalp is literally the foundation from where your hair follicles kind of regenerate and start growing the hair. So yes, that canvas has to be clean. That canvas has to have a pH of 4.5 to 5.5. The scalp microbiome also needs to be balanced. This is what we mean by pH. So the good microbiome needs to be a little bit more than the bad ones. It's just like your gut health. You've heard of gut dysbiosis. There's also something with scalp dysbiosis. If there is more bad bacteria, you will have issues like flakiness, oiliness, dandruff, and because of which you will probably start to scratch your scalp a little bit more, which eventually leads your hair follicle to miniaturize, because that will cause a lot of hair fall. And when you start losing hair on a constant basis, our hair follicle gets a messaging, oh, maybe I should probably close. And that's where the hair follicle miniaturization happens. So it is a mechanical stimulation, but obviously there can be a cellular messaging that's also happening if you have excess of testosterone in a man. And if you are a woman, if you're androgen dominant, Your DHT is what will go and bind to the hair follicle, which then competes for nutrition
Yeah.
from the hair follicle.
Yeah.
And it's the DHT which will always win and eventually close the hair follicle, making you have male and female pattern balding.
Yeah. So I would say that in your case, I assume that when clients come to you and they have problems with their hair loss or hair in general, you take a very holistic overview. Like you take a very holistic approach on investigating what's
Yes.
going on emotionally, physically, and then eventually
Yeah.
you're getting into the products and
Yeah, products always is at the last.
yeah.
Products is always last. I don't even touch the hair when someone comes to me. I look what's happening. I look at the lab work. I look at where their hormones are at. What is the ratio of progesterone to estrogen? In today's times, women are losing progesterone 300 times faster than estrogen. And I'm supposed to have, as a woman, especially in my perimenopause, 200 times more estrogen.
Yeah.
But we are losing it at a much faster pace.
Yeah.
So if I am not looking at the lab work, whatever I do here is not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the number one advice for maybe a woman who's watching us and now she's having a haha moment, no? She's like, oh, well, maybe I just have to look a little bit deeper into it.
For sure.
What is the number one recommendation for a woman that wants to start to be more aware of her hair routine? What would you start off for? Like,
She should definitely get her blood work analysis, a complete blood panel, so she feels empowered enough. And you know what? When someone comes to me, I teach them how to read their blood work from a functional medicine perspective, not from a conventional medicine outlook, because they still follow the old values and it has not been upgraded. When you start looking at your blood work and your values from a functional medicine perspective, you will know exactly what is the root cause of why you're having any symptom in your body, whether it is excessive weight gain or excessive hair shedding or hair thinning. The widening of your hair partition is an indication of insulin resistance.
yeah, which is a common issue,
Very
unfortunately.
common, which I told you, HbA1c is on an average 5.5 in most perimenopausal women. If you have slight brittleness or your hair is shedding too much, your ferritin levels will definitely be compromised. If you feel like you have a lot of graying of hair, premature hair graying, you definitely are copper deficient. So, when you know these nuggets, points, you know how to then fortify yourself with the right nutrition. Basically what women are doing is they're targeting the symptoms.
Yeah.
A biotin, hair serum, a witch shampoo. If you just tap into the root cause, trust me, not only will your hair be better, your skin will glow, your gut health will get better. You will not have all that excess weight, because if you are also working on emotional regulation, working on, clearing your past traumas and whatever things that you're holding on to, you will feel just lighter.
Yeah.
Your body will feel more energized to then allocate resources against gravity, because your scalp is literally on the other end of the body.
Yeah.
Your body has to work extra hard to allocate
reach.
resources to the scalp.
Yeah.
It's only when your body feels so safe, it's going to think about your scalp at the end.
Yes, I love that. I love that. The crown is the last, but we really need to be aware of. And I always ask this, especially to practitioner or therapist or specialist. Can you share with us like a story of a woman that maybe came to you and she was, I don't know, maybe desperate. She was very sad about her hair. And then you saw like an amazing transformation.
In fact, right now I'm coaching a woman. She's 29 years of age. She is one of my best clients because her schedule, her routine, she's a manifestation coach herself.
Okay.
And I think when I saw her in the month of September to now when I see her hair transformation, it's just not her hair that's glowing. Her skin, her aura. Of course, she's a manifestation coach, so she's obviously doing something right. But when she was experiencing sudden hair thinning because it was a postpartum
I see.
hair
Okay.
thinning. She just had a baby, and after 1 year, she realized her hair was thinning out.
Yeah.
And postpartum nutrient depletion is real.
Yeah.
Like you think about it, when someone is pregnant, they're pregnant for like 9 months. 9 months is roughly like how many days? 300 days?
Yeah.
Or more than that? I don't know. I'm very bad at math.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, mostly. Let's say 300. Yeah.
So in those 300 days, a pregnant woman's estrogen and progesterone is at an impeccable value.
Yeah.
When she delivers, all these values come down suddenly.
Yeah.
So there's a sudden dip. What does that mean? You will experience hair shedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because imagine for those 9 months, you have not shed a single strand of hair.
Yeah.
So when you suddenly see, how many days did we say a woman is pregnant?
300.
So 300 into 100, 3,000.
Wow.
So when you see 3,000 hair coming off in like less than a month span of time, you are obviously going to go into a shock. You're going to get into an cortisol overdrive, like what the hell is happening? And that's why educating yourself, empowering yourself with the right information is the key. Because see, when you have information and you have awareness, you will take better action.
Absolutely.
And you will see better results.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so when I see her, because I just like gave her the few nuggets. I mean, she's a very enlightened human being, but I think she just surrendered completely. And when I see her transformation now, like I see her hair texture is getting better. She's feeling happy overall.
Yeah.
She's being a better mother. She's being a better wife. She's being a better human being, and she's also being a better coach for her students.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
I feel like working with people for 3 months always gives me that bandwidth to see the transformation.
Yeah.
Because see, hair, we have to be patient with hair.
Yeah.
It's not like a overnight miracle.
Absolutely.
That you come to me
I
or
can
you go to
imagine.
anyone and buy a product and your hair suddenly is
Yeah.
going to sprout. I wish that was the case.
Yeah.
But it's really a thing of patience. Like, if you can master that and you have the belief and you really believe in your affirmations and the way you touch your body, the way you touch your hair, your body's always listening to you.
Yeah. Amazing.
So yeah, like I think this is another part of why I feel my hair got better in the last couple of years, because I talk so much about hair.
Yes.
You're
You're actually manifesting a great hair.
And whenever I sense stress in my energy field, of course, we all have stress.
Of course.
But how we navigate through it, how we respond to it rather than reacting to it, it changes the dynamics of your
True.
the adrenal, going back
Yes.
to the adrenals, it changes how your adrenal is going to respond.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. Of course, you have an Instagram page and a website where people can find you.
I'm very active on Instagram, hair hormone coach. Yeah, you can find me there.
Perfect. So thank you so much for being with us. And I really hope that this was useful. And I really loved our conversation. And I feel that if you have any question for us or for her specifically, you can comment down below. Who knows, maybe we're going to do a second round. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.